So how long can the ceasefire really last? The last sober night before the 125% tariffs hit. Greetings everyone, James here. It's currently about 6 a.m. Eastern Time on April 9th. Having some coffee and the futures are looking green, but something tells me that this patch of green might be borrowed. So let's take a look here at the pre-market data. Okay. So S&P 500 futures at plus 2.5%. And let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Right now, the NASDAQ is up 2.9%. And let's see what the Dow is doing right here. Yeah, the Dow futures are up 2.85%. Let's take a look at West Texas Intermediate. Yes. So West Texas Intermediate crude oil is at $97.68 after dropping from yesterday's high. And also, let's take a look here at Yes, taking a look here at the VIX, it's currently at 21.48. And what happened last night? Israel and Iran reached a 2-week temporary ceasefire agreement. Oil prices just crashed and the futures surged. But let me tell you my take. The market is trading this ceasefire, as it were, peace, and that is one of the most dangerous misinterpretations of 2026. So in today's live stream, I'm going to clarify 3 key points. Additionally, I won't be answering questions from the comment section one by one during the live broadcast, simply because there are too many of them. And if you have specific questions regarding your portfolio holdings or wish to discuss a particular stock in depth, please just contact my assistant. Her contact details can be found at the bottom of your screen and in the channel description. And she'll basically compile your questions, and then I will address them directly in a future live stream or via a personalized response. It's just easier that way for everyone. So let's get started. Tariffs, the 125% countdown, and the market is still asleep. Okay, at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time on April 11th, the U.S. 125% tariffs on Chinese goods will officially go into effect. China's retaliatory tariffs, covering 84% of U.S. imports, already took effect yesterday, April 8th. Now, the news of the ceasefire has completely monopolized everyone's attention, and yet the tariff clock keeps on ticking. So, here's some of my insights. Today's pre-market rally is, in essence, a technical correction driven by a combination of crashing oil prices and short covering. It's not a repricing of the tariff situation. So once the market wakes up to the fact that 125% tariff rate effectively means a complete halt to US-China trade, this current rally will be viewed in a very, very different light. So let me know. Type your answer in the comment section and my assistant will put them together. So following the 125% tariff hike, on which category of goods do you think US consumers will see price increases first? Electronics or apparel or auto parts? Now let's talk about energy. The ceasefire lasts only 2 weeks. April 24th is the red line last night. West Texas Intermediate crude plummeted 19%, and energy stocks continue to face pressure in pre-market trading. So Chevron and ExxonMobil both fell by approximately 3% pre-market. Now, what are my insights? The market has interpreted this 2-week ceasefire as a sign of permanent peace, a classic case of overreaction. Iran's demand is for the permanent lifting of sanctions, while the U.S. demands the abandonment of Iran's nuclear program. There's absolutely no common ground between these two positions. With negotiations set to expire on April 24th, the most likely outcomes are either a return to the status quo or an escalation of tensions. So, I will neither chase the decline in energy stocks nor attempt to bottom fish. I will simply circle April 24th on my calendar and wait. So, let me know, what are your thoughts? Do you think oil prices will be higher or lower than today's levels after April 24th? Put a thumbs up for higher or put a thumbs down for lower. Now let's talk about Tesla. Inventory is the real elephant in the room. Tesla went down approximately 2.5% in pre-market trading, hovering around $341 per share. And JP Morgan reiterated its $145 price target, citing record high inventory levels as the core rationale. Specifically, the fact that over 190,000 vehicles remained unsold in the first quarter. So, some of my thoughts: the narrative around Tesla has shifted from demand always exceeds supply to supply far exceeds demand. Its energy storage business saw a 15% year over year decline and first such drop since 2022. So, both of the company's core growth engines are currently sputtering. Now, I would refrain from using the term bottom fishing until a clear inflection point emerges regarding the inventory issue. Any market rebound should be viewed with extreme caution. So, here's a question for you. Do you think Tesla's inventory problem will improve in the third quarter, or will it continue to get worse? And now let's talk about Nvidia. The physical ceiling for AI hardware has been reached. Nvidia rose approximately 2.23% in pre-market trading, hovering around $180 per share. Now, the SK Hynix has confirmed that the yield ramp up for its HBM4 memory chips will be delayed by at least 1 quarter. Furthermore, the production volume for the Rubin series of chips may be further downwardly revised from an initial estimate of 2 million units to a range of 1.3 to 1.4 million units. So, my thoughts: the long-term AI narrative remains unchanged. However, the short-term bottlenecks in the hardware supply chain are pretty real and even more acute than the market currently anticipates. There is also a variable that almost no one is talking about: helium. 30% of the global helium supply has been cut off due to conflicts in the Middle East. But yet, helium is a critical raw material for both semiconductor manufacturing and high bandwidth memory production. Now, my question to you is: do you believe the AI hardware bottleneck will be a central theme throughout 2026, or do you think it will be resolved within the coming year? Let me know. Now, some general observations. What I'm watching during the pre-market today: once the market officially opens today, I'll be keeping a close eye on three things. Whether the S&P can hold on to its pre-market gains. If within the first hour of trading, those gains narrow to less than 1%, it partially suggests the market has fully digested the news regarding the ceasefire, and attention will likely shift back to tariffs and inflation. Now, what about the energy sector? Let's talk about that. The energy stocks, after dropping 3 to 4% in pre-market trading, begin to attract buying interest. It would suggest that some investors are positioning themselves for the period following April 24th. Now, conversely, if they continue to drift lower, it indicates that short-term sentiment remains the dominant force. Now, in regards to Tesla's trading volume, if Tesla opens with unusually high trading volume but fails to see a corresponding rise in price, it signals a massive divergence in opinion between the bulls and the bears. I'm not making any predictions. I'm just simply telling you what I'm watching right now. All right, and that wraps up my pre-market outlook for today, April 9th, as of 6 a.m. And let me reiterate this. I won't be answering more questions for the comments like I was before, one by one during the live stream. The reason is there's just too many of them, and it's difficult for me to go through all of them. And furthermore, many of the questions involve very specific portfolio positions, cost basis, and risk tolerance topics. It's just better to be discussed in a private setting. So kindly just do the following. Contact my assistant. You can find my assistant's contact details here via the Telegram or WhatsApp links located at the bottom of your screen, or by sending a direct message to my channel account, and my assistant will get back to you. All you need to do is tell my assistant what specific stock or section you're interested in and the specific question you'd like to ask. And my assistant will compile these inquiries and then forward them to me, and then I will address your questions directly, either in a future live stream or through personalized response. So it allows me to assist you more effectively, efficiently, and ensures that I don't miss anyone who's taken the time to really ask a good question. So that's all for today's live stream. And remember, a ceasefire rally is borrowed time. Tariffs and inflation are the real landlords. So stay focused and never mistake a ceasefire for a turn. I'm James, and I'll see you in the next live stream.